Hey everyone, it's that Math Magician. On this video, we're going to see another example of trigonometry and how to use the tangent ratio to solve for an unknown side of a right triangle. So let's jump right into this example problem where I have a right triangle, I have an angle, I have a side, and I want to find that bottom side over there that's labeled as x. But first, let's identify what we have. We do know that we have this angle at the top that's labeled as 45 degrees. That is our reference angle. And I notice that I have this side here that's 14. Now notice that x is the side that is across or opposite of our reference angle. So x in this case is going to be our opposite side. 14 is the side next to our angle. So I'm going to label that as the adjacent side. Remember, adjacent just means next to. Now notice I do not care about the hypotenuse for this triangle because it has no value and it has no variable. So in this case, the hypotenuse is sort of just forgotten about. All I'm focusing in on is the opposite and the adjacent side. Now that's great for us because we have the tangent ratio. And the tangent ratio says, take the tangent of your reference angle and it will equal a fraction of two sides. In this case, it always ends up being the opposite over the adjacent sides. And those are the two sides that we have, or that we're focusing on in this problem. So let's now plug in our information. Tangent of our angle. Well, in this case, my reference angle is 45 degrees. It's going to equal the fraction opposite over adjacent. So I'll go ahead and put x over 14. And this is the point where you want to put the left-hand side over 1 so that we can cross multiply and solve for x. So let's go ahead and do that. X times 1 is going to end up being x. It's going to equal the other side being multiplied. That'll be 14 times the tangent of 45 degrees. And that right there is an expression that you can plug into your calculator, or some of you might already know it off already because tangent of 45 degrees is one that you should remember. It is a value that we should know. But if you're one of those people who don't know what it is, well, that's why we have calculators. We plug that in and we get our answer. So let's go ahead and open up our free online calculator from Desmos.com, and we're going to type in 14 times tangent of 45 degrees. 14 times tangent of 45 degrees, and we see that it ends up equaling 14. So earlier I wrote that x was approximately going to be an answer, but now I know that it for sure equals 14. And you might be wondering, why is that side 14 and the other side was 14? Well, that's because the tangent, let's go ahead and erase that. The tangent of 45 degrees is 1. It's 1. That's because on this slope triangle here, the slope ends up being 1. So those two sides should match. If the adjacent is 14, then the opposite is going to be 14. If your reference angle is 45 degrees. That's how we solve for a missing side using our tangent ratio. It's that Math Magician, and I'll see you on the next video.